You have to build that bridge between that family. If you're going to keep the child and the system's not going to allow you to let the child go back, at least if you're going to keep them disconnected from the mother or from the father or from both parents, allow that child to still have that connections with the grandparents, still have that connection with their siblings, still have that connection with aunts and uncles, because they need that family security, because their family is their blanket. Looking back at it, if I was able to have that communication with the foster parents when they had my 3-year-old son, I think it would have been a better chance of them understanding and seeing and trying to cope with everything. If I was able to do it again, I would. But at the same time, the state welfare has actually lost all trust from me, because you can't get me to trust you when you sat here and did that to me. You traumatized my kids. If they actually understood how I would make sure my kids was on a regiment and how I keep their regiment, it would have made things a lot easier and a whole lot smoother. If they actually would have taken the time to communicate with me, it would have made it a lot easier and comfortable for my kids while they were in the middle of this transition. No, they're not going to understand, and this is a trauma time for them. But if they would have communicated with me, or they gave me the opportunity to communicate with me, my kids would have had an easier transition.
Some cases, you want the mother to be involved with the foster parent. And in some cases, you don't want the parents to be involved, at all. So it depends and varies on what the situation is. But from the personal case that I was involved with, he was snatched up right at the brink of him learning morals and yes and no. And, he was snatched up then. So when he went to the foster parents, there was no structure or discipline, shall I say. If you want to be helpful, to the mother, then there are many ways that you could do that, versus just being nonchalant and, well, you got your kids took so they with me now. That doesn't work, because some parents in their right mind, and not everybody is, they want their kids, and it's hard. They have to go home and, be in an empty house, without their kids. And I've heard ladies say that they can hear their kids laughing and talking, while they not at home. And so that's hard.
My kids also have health issues, and I try to make them understand. If I have one is having major health issues, I alternate my eating habits, the other's eating habits, to accommodate for not just one, but for all, to make sure that everybody is doing better. One child doesn't drink cow's milk. So because I got one that can't drink cow's milk, none of us drink cow's milk. One likes a lot of vegetables and fruit. I implement a lot of fruits and vegetables for all of us. And that's just the way it is. And if the system would look at it like that and actually take the time to communicate with the single parents, it'll make the system will be a whole lot easier and better.
The foster parents have to learn about the children. The parents already know, so they could communicate on what'll help sleep better, or what foods they like, versus we going to a visit and the baby look like he ain't ate. Oh, well, he won't eat anything. Would you like to ask what he like? So that could be very beneficial. And as far as the transitioning of the kids, that give them babies PTSD and separation anxiety. So they need to be able to at least keep a bond. If there is a plan in motion for the children to be reunited with their mothers, then the mothers and the foster parents should communicate. That way they don't feel like they just getting some kids. They don't feel like that they losing their kids and the kids get caught up in the middle.
A child's benefit of being connected to their parents still, that helped majorly. Because then as the child grows up, if the child was to stay in foster care and all, if they have that connection with their bio family, they'll have a sense of connection, sense of where they're coming from, where they came from, and they'll have a sense of family. They can still communicate with their family, and they won't feel as lost. They won't feel like, hey, I don't have a connection, I don't have a family. And then when they do finally reach out to their family, they won't have that hatred towards that family. They won't have that, you was never there for me. You didn't do this for me. You didn't do that for me. You never communicated with me. You never gave me the love I was wanting and expecting.
Children benefit from remaining connected with their family because I would like to think that it would ease some of the separation anxiety. It would keep them engaged, and if the parents are honest enough, and if the children are even old enough to comprehend, the parent can hold a conversation with their child. Mama messed up. This is what we got to do for now. I apologize. Bear with me. You're going to have to be over here until mama can get herself together, and allow that child to ask questions and give feedback on how they feeling about it, if they're old enough to communicate in that way. But communication goes a very long way.